see how we are going to see how we are actually doing the manual correlation in the ViewGen. Okay, so first of all, I would like to ask any queries in the last session. Can I proceed? Okay. To just give a recap, what we have discussed in the last session was we saw what are the different types of correlation. So we have we actually analyzed the steps and what is the function to correlate, and then there is a function called scan correlations in the script. But because 11.51 it changed the entire thing, so options in different to scan for correlations, they have an option called Design Studio. If you go and if once the script is recorded, or you can enable this option in the runtime settings, that let me show you Design Studio what is showing. This will show you the values which are to be correlated, the different set of values what it has found in the script. It will show you all the correlations based on the rules set in this particular ViewGen. So if you see these applications, like these are the correlated values, these correlation values, this has to be correlated within the script. This is what this Design Studio has captured. These are set of values. You can directly click correlate of this option, automatically a step will be added. And other option is you can add this rule, because as a rule you can just enable that application, and if you click add as a rule, what happens you will see. Rule name is, you can set a rule as, let us give for the first one so that you will know. So once coming this scanning for correlations, you can select the first option or the second option. Here the flights, some option is there. Click add as a rule, and let me define the rule name as flight, and then in which application do you want to store this rule. So you have to go here and select any of the application, click select Ariba here itself, click add. The moment you click add, the first selected correlation is added as a rule flight of Ariba buyer. Click OK. So if you want to go and see that particular rule, click OK. It has come already in the Ariba buyer. See in the recording options you have to, there is a little confusion between recording options and the runtime settings. Recording options are nothing but at the time of recording, what are the settings you have to do, all the options will be set in recording options. Runtime settings, at the time of execution, what are the changes you have to include, that includes runtime settings. This recording, because correlation can be done before the recording, we can select yes or no options inside this. So it is asking you, these are the rules. It will show you, so all these options will be available in recording options. That is first thing you have to remember. So now we have selected, we have just added a rule. That rule can be, we are asking you to search in all the body of a text. The scan type is a normal expression, and this is left boundary, right boundary, and this says dot, star, question mark. This is the value. Usually till 11.0 what we have is, we have a left boundary, we have a right boundary, and we are replacing that exact value with a parameter. So whatever value you are finding during correlation, you will just give the property of a left boundary, property of a right boundary, and then it will try to capture it with the middle value. You understood? Correlation is nothing but we have to observe the left and right boundaries. You can ask me a question like, there are many matching left and right boundaries, how can we find an exact value for that particular value? Correct. So now we are finding user session value. We were doing correlation past since 2 days. Okay, but what we are actually doing, I am telling you different ways of doing, but how we are actually capturing that value is, I am finding left value of that particular user session, right value what it has in the user session. Left and right value, every time it will be constant wherever you go. Only the middle user session value is keep on changing. Will you agree or not? The properties, what it will show you, for example, I will show you, but before that, this is the rule added. Under the Ariba buyer, I have given this application and whatever name I have given user session, and I have added this as a rule. Next time automatically it will correlate and it will give us, and also the flight option is also added. So this is where I can add some of the rules and then I can set it automatically. Okay, clear? Okay, so now I was telling something. So left and right boundary. So go here and let me see. See, this is the correlation value. Let me select this value. Control C. Put Control F. We have a wonderful search functionality here in 11.5. Previously it was just quick find. Control F, if you do in this window, in the output window it will search only here, but if you search in action window it will search only here. But here there is an option to include search in actions, that means where my script is present, as well as snapshots. They have removed completely the tree view. I'll show you in some the screenshots how the tree view looks and the correlation they have removed from that as well. But it is very important. Nobody has now using 11.5. The latest version what they are using now is 11.5. They have not yet started yet. In the 11 version still we have a tree view, the correlation in tree view and all the concepts. I'll explain you in the screenshots. But if you try to find in actions, I don't want, because already in the script I have it. I want to find it only in the snapshots and logs. Click find next. So if you see here, find next, it is able to find the value in this particular response. If we are getting this value as a response, means it is passing in this particular request. Will you agree? So if it is, we are able to see in this particular response, means if every request goes, we'll get a response, right? So in this particular response, we are getting this value. So see how this value is getting. Name is equal to user session value is equal to, and right boundary is this that angular bracket. So whenever this value is getting generated, every time it will give you name is equal to user session value and right boundary is angular bracket. Only the value in the middle value is keep on changing. If you would like to again see that, compare this. Let me take the left boundary of this particular value. Name user session is equal to, and let me search in replay log. Because user session is something hard coded while recording, correct? While replaying we are not able to get the same value, we are getting some other different value. That is why our script is failing. So if you go and search, sorry, if you go and search the same thing in the replay log, to go to replay log, what you can do is, this is a new feature which is added in 11.50. You can go to replay layout directly. So now replay layout has come. Go to control home. So control F, control V. Okay. So control V. So now I am searching with this particular text in this particular replay log. Go and click find next. Okay, because I have selected the snapshot, I want only logs now. Okay. So click find next. Let me go to replay layout. Cancel. Go to replay layout. No. Replay layout. I don't know why is it not responding. Okay. Control home, Control F, here Control V, and then click include everything. Okay. Fine. Next. So if you see this value, you can understand input type hidden is equal to left boundary is name is equal to user session value and right boundary is angular bracket. So with this what we have understood is whenever we are capturing a value, the left and right boundaries will be always constant. Only the in between value will be keep on changing. So if you give here, instead of giving this one, let me write rep underscore reg underscore. This is a manual statement. So what I did, now what I did is I did automatic correlation. Before that, below that, I'm just doing a manual correlation. It's a manual correlation step. Let me see how am I capturing the value. This is another function. It is not a same function but with a different syntax with that. Para go inside. So first I have to define a variable name. So this is user session. This is I am declaring name to it. Go here. So first I have to define left boundary is equal to. So if you see constant character name, some string list of attributes, and last it should start with the last. Okay. Left boundary is equal to, so you have to end with comma, right boundary is equal to, you have to copy paste it, don't see and write because it might give you an issue later. So we have to just copy paste it what you are able to see in that particular thing. One comma, and next you can give ORD is equal to 1. I'll explain you what is ORD, comma, LAST. Close this function and delete. So now what happens? Here I have defined this particular value. So instead of replacing this with correlation with parameter, if I replace with user session, it will capture that value. What is the left boundary of this value? User name is equal to user session value is equal to, and right boundary is this one. ORD is equal to 1. What is meant by ORD? Actually, we have in web reg save param, we have list of attributes like where to search, what is an ordinal, is there any redirection, many attributes we have, but we usually what we actually use is only left boundary, right boundary, ordinal. If this value is not found, don't fail the function, proceed further. There is one more statement we can include. Let me put not found is equal to give warning, don't fail. Okay, comma. This is how typically we write a manual correlation function in understandable terms. First, I'll explain what is ORD. Now, left boundary we found the name is equal to user session value is equal to, and right boundary is equal to this angular bracket. Suppose if I am searching with the same and left boundary and right boundary, I may get one value, which is this kind of value. Suppose think that we are getting one more other value with the same left and right boundaries. Suppose think that instead one value which is matching here. So what we are actually doing is values which are matching with left boundary and the right boundary we have to capture in a variable. So how many values it will capture, it is not in our hands. It might capture 5, 10, 12. So if you are telling, if it is capturing 12 or something, what we are telling, take only the first occurrence. That is what we are defining in this function. If you give ORD is equal to all, it will capture all the occurrences. Okay, first let us run the script. Go here, runtime settings. Okay, data written by server is present. Go run. First V initialization will execute, and then it will come to action. It failed. Invalid argument 5. So it is telling there is a failed. Okay, let us see why it has failed. Okay. Comma last, I've ended everything. Save param. Let us enable everything and then click OK. Let's see the test results also. Go here. Test results open. Action summary. Failed to. So it is telling parameter name, regular expression, done. Step creation failed. To better understand the cause of failed step, you can record movie clip and then no script about it. So there is something mistake with the syntax, or no, if it is syntax issue, it will fail here itself before running. But let me see what I've done wrong. Body, left boundary, user session, everything is correct. Okay, let me comment this and then because go here. This is how we actually comment multiple comments. If you give slash and star, it will get commented. Let us go to no errors recorded. So something is wrong with the function. Okay, I'll see that. But before that, actually the function what we use it, webreg syntax has been changed to webreg save para, and only the value of the parameter we give, left boundary, right boundary, ORD, and not found. All these are the parameters we give it. But before doing this this function, what we have to do to actually do a manual correlation. I'll say this one I'll sort it out and I'll show you. But before that, actual step is to find which values to correlate. Yesterday I asked which values to correlate, where to correlate, all these things we have to decide when doing manual correlation. To do that, what you have to do is, first you have to create two similar scripts with the same steps what you are following. Example, what you can see is, see here, what you actually two equal fusion steps. First what you do, you go and record web tools application, login, jojo beam, go to flights, book the flight, search find flights, book the flights, and then log out, and again record the same script, same script with the same process. Then what it actually does is, it will also record with the same thing. So I'll show you. I have already two recorded scripts. It is not exactly the same thing. There is an option in Fusion to compare the scripts. Okay, so what you have to do is tools, click compare. So you can compare now. Now I am in script day 3, some demo script 1. If you want to go here and then compare to any other recorded one. So first you have to compare two different scripts. Now I am comparing day 4 correlation script 1. Which one would you like to compare? Just go to action.c and click compare. If you compare two different scripts with the same steps, here it is different because I've added some more steps and it is add cookies and everything is present. But usually what happens is each and every step where it is finding a change in the value will be highlighted in yellow because it is different toolbar it is changed with the first step it is highlighting in yellow. If these two are matching, see here how is it showing, it is showing in only it is showing only white color. So if it is finding any difference in the steps, it will highlight you in yellow. So with that, just record whenever you are proceeding with the correlations. After the recording, what you have to do is record thrice and then compare with Windows and list down the values what are changing. Suppose if you think an example, looking at this value, you can think that user in our script user value is getting changed. Okay, but the other point is sometimes the timestamp also you can see is a difference that it will change. But what about the month? If you keenly observe the month, only till this end of the month it will work this script. But after this month it will not work. So we have to ensure that we have to analyze the script in such a way that all these things we take care, because manually we see that we are inputting some date value. If you are inputting some date value, see, suppose you are running the same script what we have prepared for booking flight for last year, it will not work, correct? It will work for, suppose if you have given a May 31st date and you have booked a flight, and that script will work only till May 29th. After, if May 31st, if you are again booking the flight, it will not work because you cannot book for the below dates. So looking at the functionality, what are the inputs you are giving, so what values might change, you have to analyze it and then you have to proceed with correlation. That is the first concept. Compare two scripts, three scripts, find out the values what it is getting changed, list down all the values, do a correlation for those values. That is first step. Once correlation, what you have to find is, and again to confirm one more time whether this value is been changed or not, what we actually do is first control C this value and then you will go, there will be two logs here. Before that, there will be two logs. Okay, at the time of code generation you will have the log which is recorded one. This is the log which is recorded one. So at the time of recording, what are the values it's been present in your script, everything will be present in code generation log. That is called generation log, we say till 11.0. In 11.5 they changed it to code generation. It's an enhanced some name. So whatever recorded, everything will be present in code generation, and whatever replayed, everything will be present in replay if we put that extended log data written by server in runtime settings option. If you enable that option, each and the request what we send and the what the server is sending back as a response, these two will be present in replayed log. So if you go to code generation and search, first what you actually do is, once finding out those values, what you have to do, go and control C and find it out in generation log. This is how manually we are doing. I'm telling control F, control V. First we will find out this value. Once finding out this value, we will see left and right boundaries of this particular value. Go here, find the left boundary, control C and go to replay log, and it will give you, because, okay, let me comment it. Let me comment this and then show you. Okay. So now in the replay log, if you observe, it is giving me the detailed steps. So in the detailed steps, if I control F and such, okay. Okay, so in the replay log again, because there are some values which are to be correlated, I didn't correlate, that is why it is giving issue. But if you control home, control F, control V, and then search with this value, what happens? It is finding again the different value. If you observe the script value and this value, it is different. It is 11.0868, and if you see 11.0832, it is different value. So if the same and left and right boundaries, this value is getting changed. So this value has to be correlated. This is how we should decide whether this value can be correlated or not. Okay, so whatever values you have listed after comparing two recordings or three recordings, all the recordings you have to ensure once again checking in the comparing generation log and replay log. The value will definitely get changed, but left and right boundaries see and then compare that value. Sometimes there may be a case like the left boundary and right boundary will be present, and but the inner value will be different. Third time you have to specify ORD is equal to what is the occurrence. Suppose ORD is equal to 4 is a value exactly what you need. Suppose think this name user session value is equal to is coming in the earlier functions itself. You are searching with that, and right boundary is also matching, but the value is some size, some 22, 32, which is not relevant to your script, relevant to your code. Then ORD is equal to 4 is the value where you have to give and capture this particular value. Clear? So now we have defined two steps. One, verifying with WinDiff, we have found what are the list of values to be correlated, and again confirmation. What we have done is went to generation log, code generation, control F, and then we have found that value, confirmed with the replay log. Now we are sure that this particular value is getting changed. So once it is getting changed, what you have to do is control home and control F and search that value in the logs as well as in the snapshots. Click find next. So if you are finding in the snapshots, it will give you you have to find this value in a response, any of the response. Suppose think that this is the response. In this particular response, we are receiving this ID. That means we have to write the function above this. That is how we have to decide this. That is how we have to write in manual function. But till 11.0, what we have is right clicking this directly, we can that function will be added. But I am telling this directly adding this function will not work. So you have to write WebRug that function with all these attributes, which will directly will give you an control over the code. So first thing, compare the script, find the differences, compare in the generation log, and then a replay log, and then find it out in the response and write this function above this particular request. If you are finding out in that particular request, means you have to write a function above that. Clear? Clear? Any doubts? No, right? Actually, one more thing is, previously we were seeing only, see all these replay logs, you can move this, anywhere. This is the new feature added here, and you can place it here, you can extend it. So whatever may be the case, you can do here. This is an ID or, and this is, you can move. These are the extra new features added in 11.5, but we cannot do in 11 till 11.0. It will be something different, simple. It is like that, it is static, the options and all, it will be static, and we have tree view and all this stuff. But this is an enhanced version which have all these capabilities. And if you double click here, you can directly see the response. You can split the response, you can see the page view also, what is the page it is displaying. So all these are an extra options added here. So manual correlation, before I am jumping into runtime settings, please ask me if you have any queries.